Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Carrie Roper. Welcome to 7 at 7 p.m. for Monday, January 18th. We're bringing you 7 minutes of nonstop local news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Let's get to our top story tonight, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Police are investigating a shooting in central Las Vegas early Monday morning after a man stepped out of his home and was immediately shot. Police said an investigation showed a man left his home and was assaulted by another man. A relative of the victim discharged several gunshots in the direction of the assailant, who is in serious condition. This is a developing story, and we will continue to have your updates here on 7 at 7 and lvrj.com. In more top stories, with Inauguration Day 2 days away for President-elect Joe Biden, this is shaping up to be a ceremony unlike any other, with high security and no crowds at the Capitol. The ceremony will remain virtual as a precaution against COVID-19, though National Guard troops, including Nevada's own troops, have been called in to heighten security after the January 6th riot at the Capitol left lawmakers shaken. Governor Steve Sisolak will present his State of the State address tomorrow at 6 p.m. We spoke with our Capitol Bureau reporter on what we might hear from Sisolak on policy relating to COVID-19. James Schaefer has the story. James?
The Review-Journal's Capitol Bureau reporter Colton Lockhead has been monitoring likely actions from the governor's office on COVID-19 ahead of the State of the State address.
At this point, we're still kind of playing this waiting game with the numbers. As we've seen recently, the numbers continue to go up. We're still setting daily records in a lot of metrics and most of the metrics. It's hard to imagine seeing any kind of looser restrictions until we start seeing those numbers, the number of deaths, the number of cases start to go down dramatically.
Even if there is a downward trend, Colton tells us it's a consistent downward trend that is what the governor's office is waiting for.
A lot of things kind of bounce down and then go right back up. And so we haven't seen the downward trend. And that's really what the governor and the health officials are waiting to see, is a consistent downward trend. It's just something we haven't seen yet.
Now it's time for your weather report, and we hope you enjoyed the sunshine this weekend, because this week is looking to bring some clouds. Today, some of that warm weather carried over from the weekend, giving us a high of 70 degrees earlier. Right now, we're sitting at around 57 degrees and will cool off to around 48 by the end of the night. Tomorrow will be much cooler, with highs in the low 60s and some strong winds coming from the northeast and partly cloudy skies. We can expect similar weather throughout the rest of the week.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. Cassie Soto with this sports update. Las Vegas Aces forward A'ja Wilson returned to her alma mater for the official unveiling of a statue in her honor in front of Colonial Life Arena at South Carolina. In her time with the Gamecocks, the reigning WNBA MVP led her squad to a 2017 NCAA National Championship. During her dedication ceremony, which took place on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Wilson said, "The same campus my grandmother couldn't walk on is the same campus that now houses a statue of her granddaughter." Here's your Monday sports betting update. The NFL is down to its final 4 teams. The Green Bay Packers are 3.5-point favorites over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Sunday's NFC title game at Lambeau Field. The total is 51. Early sharp bets on Tom Brady's Bucs caused the line to drop a point after it opened at 4.5 at the Westgate Sportsbook. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-point favorites over the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game, and the total is set at 54.
In your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber, Food Network star Vic Vegas opened his latest venture today. Black and Blue Diner serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner with some East Coast touches, touching on the star's New York roots. Black and Blue Diner is located off South Decatur and Meadows Lane and is now open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. In your health news, the Review-Journal has learned that the Clark County Coroner's Office reported that it had investigated more deaths in 2020 than it had in the previous year. Renee Summerer has more. Renee?
Carrie, the causes of death range from motor accidents to suicides to drug overdoses, including 13 children who have died as a result of drugs, a 550% increase from 2019. Suicides among children also increased. Review-Journal Sabrina Schnurr has more.
So overall, the coroner did look at more cases this year, 255 more cases than last year in just general investigations of deaths. But more than that, there were more CPS reports this year. There were more drug-related deaths. Children only died of drug-related deaths twice in 2019. There were 13 children who died of drug-related death in 2020, so that's a massive increase.
Local psychologists said that it is difficult to provide medical health support virtually. For more on these numbers, log on to lvrj.com. Carrie?
In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway. One thing that did not change in real estate last year was the enormous gap between the cheapest home sold in Southern Nevada and the most expensive one. Our reporter Eli Siegel has more.
And again, these are the extreme ends of the housing market. So, and in this case, in 2020, the cheapest house sold for a little over $66,000. It was a very small thing. It was like 480 square feet. And at the other extreme end of the market, you had this mega mansion. The place was just humongous. It was over 14,000 square feet. It was built, I think, in 2009 in a very wealthy area of Summerlin with a lot of other custom homes.
As the local entertainment community works to make a comeback, our entertainment columnist John Katzlamidas caught up with entertainer Ann Martinez to talk about the challenges facing performers.
As entertainers, we can say, okay, now it's leveled. And I thought to myself when it all happened, I was like, I have to work. Now I have family I have to take care of. I'm in a situation where I can't not work. And I'll work wherever. I mean, I'll work. I will fold a sweater better every time. And those labels would be perfectly in line. I was ready to go and just get a job at the mall. I didn't care. And then I've been able to find entertainment gigs. But I had to be very picky because I had to be safe.
You can catch more celebrity interviews Mondays on podcasts. Well, that's all for today's 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Carrie Roper. Thanks so much for joining us. And remember, you can also download our free RJ mobile app to get news alerts sent straight to your phone. Stay with us as we continue to follow the latest developments and live coverage. And we hope you'll join us again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Have a good night.
Review-Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.